Former CIA Director George Tenet has told Fox News' Bill O'Reilly that, yes, he was sure that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction. But he says there were reasons for that, and as our chief Washington correspondent Jim Angle reports, Tenet was nowhere near the only person who thought so back at the time.
In an interview with Bill O'Reilly, former CIA Director George Tenet explained why he and others were so convinced that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction.
I believe it going back to my time in the Clinton administration when we were concerned about Iraq. I believed on the basis of 10 years of following it, data that we'd seen, his deception, his denial, his thwarting of the UN, I believed it in my core that he had it. Here's a guy that basically, was going to have his country destroyed because he wasn't honest about it.
Indeed, President Clinton got Congress to pass a law making regime change in Iraq official U.S. policy in 1998, and that December announced to the nation he just launched airstrikes against Iraqi weapons sites.
Their mission is to attack Iraq's nuclear, chemical, and biological weapons programs and its military capacity to threaten its neighbors.
No wonder, then, that many Democrats, including some on the Senate Intelligence Committee, took the same view during the debate to go to war in 2003.
There is unmistakable evidence that Saddam Hussein is working aggressively to develop nuclear weapons and will likely have nuclear weapons within the next 5 years.
If left unchecked, Saddam Hussein will continue to increase his capacity to wage biological and chemical warfare and will keep trying to develop nuclear weapons.
Though anti-war critics often accuse the Bush administration of lying about WMD in order to justify military action, many prominent Democrats harbored no doubts in the run-up to the war.
There's no question that Iraq poses biological and chemical weapons. That's not in doubt. And that he seeks to acquire additional weapons of mass destruction, including nuclear weapons. That's not in debate.
So the threat of Saddam Hussein with weapons of mass destruction is real.
On the question of Iraq's contacts with al-Qaeda, Tenet believes some officials pushed the idea too far, suggesting Iraq controlled the terrorists. But Tenet does say there was a decade of contacts between the two, including some specific examples.
There was an issue of training. The one issue that concerned us was this fellow that we captured, Ibn Sheikh al-Libi, who is an al-Qaeda senior operational trainer, told us that they may have acquired some chemical training from the Iraqis. We believe that.
And the Clinton administration said so in public statements, noting in 1999 that Iraq continued to plan and sponsor international terrorism. It continued to provide safe haven and support to various terrorist groups.
He has also given aid, comfort, and sanctuary to terrorists, including al-Qaeda members.
So the conviction that Saddam was a threat was widely held. Though the WMD assessments turned out to be wrong, almost everyone believed them at the time. Senator Rockefeller even warned we had always underestimated Saddam's progress. He also noted the debate over whether Iraq posed an imminent threat and said he believed it did, but went on to say that after September 11th, even the question was outdated. In Washington, Jim Angle, Fox News.